Jamie Foxx is one of Hollywood's most versatile talents. An Oscar-winning actor, a Grammy-winning singer, a comedian, a producer, he has done it all. His journey from humble beginnings in Texas to becoming one of the most celebrated stars of his generation is the kind of story that inspires millions. He has played legendary roles on screen, sold out concerts, and earned the respect of peers across the entertainment industry. Yet behind the bright lights and the glamorous lifestyle, Jamie Foxx's story has also been marked by moments of deep tragedy, struggles with health, and battles that few fans truly understand. Now at 57, Foxx faces one of the most heartbreaking chapters of his life. In recent years, rumors about his health, mysterious hospitalizations, and his noticeable absence from Hollywood projects have left fans worried and confused. While the world knows him for his charisma and energy, the reality behind the headlines is far more complex and devastating. The tragedy of Jamie Foxx is not only about the personal challenges he has endured, but also about the pressure of fame, the sacrifices he's made, and the hidden battles he continues to fight. His silence has only fueled speculation, but those close to him reveal a story of resilience, struggle, and survival. In this documentary, we'll explore the life of Jamie Foxx, from his meteoric rise to fame, the personal demons he faced, the health scares that shook the world, and how his legacy is now defined not only by triumph, but also by tragedy. Before the name Jamie Foxx became synonymous with versatility and success, he was simply Eric Marlon Bishop, a boy growing up in the small town of Terrell, Texas. Born on December 13, 1967, Jamie's beginnings were far from the glamour of Hollywood. Raised primarily by his grandmother after his parents separated, he learned early about resilience and independence. It was his grandmother's strict but loving guidance that gave him discipline, while the church gave him music. From the age of 5, Jamie was already playing the piano, showing a gift that would later propel him into both music and acting, but his path wasn't easy. In school, Jamie faced the kind of challenges many young black kids in small-town America endured. Yet his humor and charisma made him stand out. Teachers noted that he had an incredible ability to make people laugh, a trait that became his survival tool. When he discovered stand-up comedy, it became a gateway to a bigger world. After college, Jamie made the bold move to Los Angeles, chasing dreams most would have dismissed as impossible. It was during these early years that he adopted the stage name Jamie Foxx. The decision was strategic. Comedy clubs often favored women comedians. So by choosing an androgynous name, he increased his chances of getting stage time. That cleverness and determination became defining traits of his career. His big break came in the early 1990s with the hit sketch comedy show In Living Color. Suddenly, Jamie wasn't just another struggling comedian. He was a rising star. Audiences loved his ability to transform into characters effortlessly, and producers quickly recognized his potential. By the mid-90s, Jamie had transitioned into acting roles, eventually landing his own sitcom, The Jamie Foxx Show. But it wasn't until the early 2000s that his career skyrocketed to heights few could have predicted. His role as Ray Charles in the 2004 biopic Ray was nothing short of transformative. Jamie didn't just play the legendary musician, he became him. His performance earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor, making him only the third African-American man in history to win that honor. Overnight, Jamie Foxx was no longer just a comedian or a musician, he was a Hollywood powerhouse. And yet, with fame came new challenges. Hollywood has a way of lifting stars into the stratosphere only to weigh them down with relentless pressure. Jamie was expected to balance his music career, blockbuster movies, and comedy, all while living under the constant glare of the media spotlight. Behind the scenes, friends say he struggled to manage the demands of stardom. The more successful he became, the harder it was to maintain his personal life and sense of normalcy. This duality, celebrated on stage yet privately struggling, would become a recurring theme in his life. Fans saw the confident performer, the man who could light up a stage or captivate an audience with a single line. But few saw the toll it was taking behind closed doors. Jamie Foxx had risen from small-town Texas to the pinnacle of Hollywood, but the journey was not without sacrifice. The discipline from his grandmother and the survival instincts he honed as a child carried him through. Still, fame came with expectations, and those expectations began to push against his health, his relationships, and his peace of mind. His rise to superstardom was inspiring, but it also laid the foundation for the heartbreaking tragedies that would later unfold in his life. Tragedies that showed even the brightest stars are not immune to struggle. As Jamie Foxx's star power grew, so did the expectations placed upon him. To the world, he was the embodiment of success, an Oscar-winning actor, a chart-topping musician, and a comedian who could steal the spotlight anywhere he went. But behind the charisma, the red carpets, and the flashing cameras, Jamie carried struggles that very few truly saw. One of his earliest battles was with identity. Born as Eric Bishop, Jamie often reflected on how difficult it was to balance who he was in private with the persona he built for the world. Hollywood thrives on image, and for Jamie, that meant constantly adjusting, smiling through pressure, and hiding moments of vulnerability. He became known for being the life of the party, a man full of laughter and stories. Yet friends later admitted that sometimes his humor was a mask for deeper pain. Another burden he carried was the relentless pace of fame. Between back-to-back film projects, touring as a musician, and maintaining a career in comedy, Jamie's schedule was grueling. Long flights, sleepless nights, and constant media attention drained him. He often spoke about how difficult it was to simply be himself without the expectations of being Jamie Foxx, the star. His personal life was equally complicated. Though he kept much of it private, relationships often fell under strain. The constant spotlight, demanding schedule, and lifestyle of a Hollywood superstar made it nearly impossible for him to find lasting stability. As a father, Jamie adored his two daughters, Corinne and Annalise, but he was painfully aware of how fame sometimes robbed him of precious time with them. The pressure was magnified by the weight of being a black entertainer in Hollywood. Jamie knew he carried not only his own ambitions, but also the hopes of others who looked up to him. Breaking barriers and winning awards meant he became a symbol, but symbols aren't allowed to stumble. That invisible burden forced him to maintain an image of strength even when he was exhausted. The cracks in his seemingly perfect life began to show in subtle ways. Friends noticed he sometimes withdrew, disappearing from the public eye for stretches of time. In interviews, Jamie hinted at moments of loneliness despite being surrounded by fame and fortune. His comedy, often sharp and hilarious, also revealed glimpses of his inner struggles, jokes about relationships, pressures, and the absurdities of fame that carried a ring of painful truth. But the most heartbreaking struggles were the ones he kept closest, his health and mental well-being. Though Jamie rarely spoke publicly about them, whispers of exhaustion and health scares surfaced over the years. Behind closed doors, he faced the reality that no amount of success could shield him from the toll fame was taking on his body and mind. Yet even in the midst of these battles, Jamie refused to show weakness. He worked tirelessly to maintain his reputation as a versatile entertainer, one who could jump from singing soulful ballads to delivering Oscar-worthy performances. To his fans, he was unstoppable. To those closest to him, he was a man pushing himself to the brink. The tragedy of Jamie Foxx's life is not just found in his struggles. It's in the silence surrounding them. Like so many stars, he carried his pain privately, believing that vulnerability might tarnish his carefully built image. But the cracks were there, and over time they became harder to hide. As the years passed, the weight of these hidden struggles would collide with public events that shook his fans and the entertainment industry. And when the world finally saw Jamie at his most vulnerable, the heartbreak was undeniable. The story of Jamie Foxx's recovery is not just about medicine or physical strength. It is a story of heart, resilience, and the powerful will to live. After months of silence, during which fans feared the worst, glimpses of hope began to emerge. Those closest to Jamie confirmed that while his health struggles had shaken him deeply, his spirit remained unbroken. The journey was anything but easy. The man who had once commanded stages and movie sets with unshakable confidence was now faced with the humbling reality of rebuilding himself, both physically and emotionally. Every step in rehabilitation was grueling. Small victories like regaining stamina, walking longer distances, or even finding the energy to sing again were celebrated as monumental achievements. Doctors and therapists worked tirelessly to guide him, but Jamie's determination became the true driving force behind his progress. Behind the scenes, Jamie's family played an enormous role in his healing. His daughter, Foxx, emerged as his strongest supporter and spokesperson during the darkest days. While the world speculated wildly about his condition, she carefully reassured fans that her father was fighting hard. Her updates, though often brief, carried a message of hope. Jamie was still here, and he was not giving up. Their bond grew stronger than ever, as Corinne became the anchor holding the family together. Yet the emotional toll on Jamie was undeniable. For someone who had built his career on his versatility, acting, singing, hosting, and making people laugh, suddenly being sidelined was devastating. He had to grapple with the uncertainty of whether he could ever return to the level of performance the world expected from him. Friends described moments of frustration, fear, and even sadness, as Jamie realized how fragile life could be. And yet, even in those moments, his humor would shine through. A quiet joke, a smile, or a playful comment to his doctors reminded everyone that the Jamie Foxx they knew was still inside, fighting to come back. Support also poured in from Hollywood. Colleagues and friends shared their love publicly, from heartfelt social media posts to private visits. Stars who had worked alongside him spoke about Jamie's generosity, his energy on set, and his ability to light up a room. Messages from fellow artists reminded him that he was not alone in his struggle. For Jamie, knowing that the industry and his fans hadn't forgotten him became another source of strength. As time went on, Jamie slowly began to reappear in small ways. A photograph here, a video message there. Each glimpse reassured the world that progress was happening, even if slowly. He spoke of gratitude, of faith, and of the incredible support system that surrounded him. He admitted that the experience had changed him profoundly, teaching him to value the simple things in life, family dinners, quiet evenings, and moments of reflection. The tragedy of Jamie Foxx at 57 was not just his illness, but the cruel reminder of how quickly life can change. One day he was at the top of his game, preparing for new projects, and the next he was in a hospital bed, fighting for stability. Yet within that tragedy was also a remarkable truth. Jamie's resilience was stronger than anyone had imagined. The road to recovery continues. And while Jamie may never be quite the same, he has shown the world that even in the darkest of times, hope can survive. His battle is ongoing, but with every step forward, he proves that his story is not one of defeat. It is one of courage, faith, and the enduring power of the human spirit. As Jamie Foxx steps into this new chapter of his life, the world watches with both admiration and empathy. His journey has been defined by triumphs on screen and stage, but also by the quiet battles he never chose to face. What makes his story resonate so deeply isn't just the tragedy of his illness, but the way he has chosen to confront it with honesty, humility, and resilience. For decades, Jamie was known as a man of many faces, the quick-witted comedian who could transform any room into laughter, the Academy Award-winning actor who could embody the depth of real-life legends, and the soulful singer who could bring audiences to tears with his voice. Yet, as he reflects on the trials of recent years, Jamie has admitted that none of these professional accolades could ever compare to the love of family and the gift of life itself. Those close to him say that his perspective has shifted dramatically. Fame and fortune, though still important to his career, no longer sit at the center of his world. Instead, he speaks of gratitude. Gratitude for the doctors who stood by him, the friends who never left his side, and most importantly, his daughter Corinne, who has been his rock through it all. Jamie's love for her has always been evident, but his recent struggles have brought their bond into sharper focus. To him, she isn't just his child, she is his partner in survival, his reminder of purpose, and the living proof that family is life's greatest achievement. When Jamie addresses fans today, his words carry more weight than ever before. He has spoken candidly about how fragile life can be and how quickly everything can change. What once might have seemed like motivational cliches now come from a place of lived truth. He encourages people to cherish their health, to hold on tightly to loved ones, and to never take a single day for granted. His voice, once used to deliver punchlines or powerful performances, now often delivers messages of wisdom, resilience, and hope. Hollywood, too, has shifted its view of Jamie. Colleagues who once saw him as just another superstar now recognize the depth of his humanity. They see a man who has faced near impossible odds, yet emerged with his humor intact and his compassion even stronger. Stories of Jamie's generosity, helping young artists, encouraging fellow actors, and treating crew members with respect, have surfaced again, reminding the world that he was never just about the spotlight. His real legacy may not lie in awards or box office numbers, but in the way he has touched the lives of those around him. Still, the road ahead is not without uncertainty. Doctors continue to monitor his health, and Jamie himself acknowledges that recovery is not a straight path. There are good days and bad days, moments of joy and moments of struggle. Yet, he has embraced this reality, choosing to focus on what he can do rather than what he has lost. He remains cautiously optimistic about returning to acting, but he no longer defines his worth by the roles he plays. Instead, he defines it by the love he gives, the strength he shows, and the example he sets for others facing hardship. As Jamie Foxx reflects on his life at 57, the tragedy of his diagnosis remains a shadow, but it is not the end of his story. If anything, it has given him a deeper, more profound chapter to share with the world. He has become more than an entertainer. He has become a symbol of resilience. His journey reminds us that even the brightest stars are vulnerable. But that true greatness lies not in avoiding struggle, but in how we choose to face it. And so, while the headlines may call his story heartbreaking, those who truly listen will find something else hidden within it. Hope. The hope that no matter how dark life becomes, there is always a way forward. Jamie Foxx's legacy is still being written, but one thing is certain. It will not be defined by tragedy alone. It will be defined by courage, by love, and by the enduring spirit of a man who refused to give up.